My journey in property began by accident, if I can put it that way. So what essentially happened was we were at the mall with my mother, and she said to me, Intanga, sorry, she said to me, Intanga zako sithenga ama townhouse. So now it's time you invest into property. The only business I knew and that I was interested in was franchising. So I've always had this thing that one day I'm going to own a franchise, And so when she said to me, Intanga zako sithenga ama townhouse, now it's time you invest in property. I didn't waste time. I went to the open house that they had at the mall. I put my name down for one of the agents to give me a call. And it was over the weekend. On Tuesday, the following week, I received a call from one of the agents to say, we believe you are interested in finding a property. Are you available? Can we schedule time to go view a few properties? And the thing about that is I didn't even know that, you have to do market research to find the ideal property. You had to do numbers to make sure that it makes financial sense to you. Again, I was just following advice from my mother to say, Intanga zako sithenga ama property. Now, we set up an appointment with the agent. We viewed, I think, 3 properties in one estate in Pretoria East. And the property that I signed the OTP for, I signed because the agent said to me that the seller is willing to give me a discount of 20,000 rand. That property was priced 550,000, and the agent said the seller is willing to give a discount of 20,000 rand. And there I was thinking I got myself a bargain. I signed the OTP. Number one, I didn't do any inspection inside the property. I didn't ask anything about the financials of the property. I didn't ask about other expenses associated with owning a property. We signed, the bank gave me 100% bond, paid the legal, the transferring and registration fees. I got the keys to the property. Before I even got the keys, the agent again said to me, you don't have to live in this property if you don't have to. So I asked her, what do you mean by that? She said, you can rent it out, have someone pay you rent, use that money to pay for the bond expenses and everything else. Like, okay, I'm sold. I'm going to rent out this property as soon as it's registered. Registration went through. After I received that confirmation that the property has been registered in your name at the deeds office, I started sending messages to my friends. Hey, I have a property. If you know someone who's looking for a place to stay, please let me know. Friend of mine, he called and said, I actually know someone who needs a place to stay and they can move in as an immediately. I was happy again. Things are just going smooth. I bought a property. I got a discount. Now I'm getting a tenant in. I went to CNA. I bought a lease. I bought a lease agreement from CNA. Called up my friends after work. We met up. He introduced me to this friend of his who was looking for a place to stay. We signed the lease agreement. There was no deposit that I took in. There was no referrals from previous landlords to find out what type of tenant this person is. Nothing. We signed the lease. I have the signature. I'm thinking, okay, everything is above board. Gave him the key. He moved in. The first 6 months, the rent was paid on time. Thereafter, it was story after story after story. Oh, and another thing, the first month, you start getting accounts. You get levies accounts from the body corporate. You're getting homeowners association, rates and taxes. Those are the things that were never discussed with the agent. I didn't know that on top of the bond, there's additional expenses that you have to pay for the property. So it came as a shock that, but why do I have to pay for this now? What is this? What are all these accounts that I'm paying for? So the bond, the rental amount was now not covering all the expenses. I had to top up the other expenses out of my own pocket. But it's fine. I've got a tenant, he's paying rent. Then 6 months later, the rent stopped coming in. this guy was not paying on time. It was excuse after excuse after excuse. And then complaints started coming in from the body corporate. Your tenants are misbehaving. Your tenants are breaking rules. Your tenants are throwing parties unauthorized. Your tenants are drinking booze, leaving bottles on the balcony. So just complaints piling up, expenses piling up. I almost got blacklisted by the body corporate because I did not do my due diligence. I did not do thorough research when I started investing in property. But that didn't stop me. I said, no, I actually saw the potential that you can retire comfortably and financially free by using property. I then embarked on a journey to say, I need to acquire more properties in order for me to find the financial freedom that I'm aspiring for and to be able to retire earlier than 65 in life. Because I don't believe that anyone should work until the age of 65 or beyond that. You know, when do you get to live your life? Nonetheless, when I tried to buy my second property, the bank declined because of affordability. Now I'm thinking, how can the bank decline because of affordability? Number one, I have a property, yes, but I also have rent that's coming in, meaning that I'm not paying the property expenses, the main expense, which is the bond. I'm not paying it out of my pocket. So surely they could use that income from the rent to supplement, to say that, you know, I do have an extra income and it will add to my affordability. But they said, no, you don't afford, your affordability does not qualify you for the second bond. It became a back and forth where I had to fight with the bank to say, I believe I qualify for this bond. They said, no, you don't. Eventually, they agreed to give me 85% loan to value. So I had to top up a deposit for the 15% and also pay the attorney's fees out of pocket. Now, we're not talking about 20 or 30,000. That's in excess of 100, close to 200,000 in expenses that I did not budget for. That did not sit well with me. And it got me thinking, if people out there are investing in property and they're saying they're making money out of property, how are they doing it? If I had to go through so much struggle and yet I still did not get my second bond at 100% like the first one, you know, and you are told you'll sign this 20-year contract to pay back the bond before you can reapply for another one. So one day as I was scrolling through the internet, I think it was on Facebook, and I saw an advert about property investment. It was an event, a live event hosted in Pretoria East. So that caught my attention. I registered for that event. You know, out of curiosity, I wanted to go learn what's going to happen there. When I got to that event, everything that I thought I knew about property and everything that I thought I knew about financing was blown out of the water. You know, I left that event and with a new mindset. It was on that day that I decided, if I'm going to do this right, and if I want to be successful in it, I need to find a coach and a mentor to help and guide me, to hold my hand, to make sure that I avoid the mistakes that I have done with these two first properties. I signed up for the mentorship and coaching program. Now, the first property that I bought was in 2007. The second one, I only managed to buy in 2016. So between 2007 and 2016, it was always a back and forth fighting with the banks to try and get financing with no success. So in 2018, that's when I came across this event about property investing. I attended that event. I booked the masterclass that was held for over 2 days. After the masterclass, I then said, I need to do this with someone who has the experience, someone who has the knowledge, the resources, and the skills to help me get to where I want to be. In 2018, I started my mentorship and coaching with a property mentor. We went through all the different strategies that are available, all the different financing options that are available. Before I started the mentorship, I only knew about one strategy, and that's go to the bank, sign an OTP, buy a property, keep it there for 5 years. You'll start making money after 10, 15 years of owning the property. Working with the mentor taught me that you can make money from property from day one.